Hey, what's up guys, Quinn here, and today we're going to be taking a look at our Transformers figure. This is the CY-01 Afterimage, a knockoff version of the Studio Series 105 Mirage from Transformers Rise of the Beast. If you want to see the unboxing and my first impression of this figure, click the link in the description for that video. Now onto the review. I was very concerned when this figure was announced because the kibble would hinder the articulations and ruin the figure for me. Thankfully it didn't. I really like the fact that the chest is made out of actual car parts, making it an actual Transformers figure and not just a shell former. Of course, the kibble is the most distracting thing for this robot mode, but somehow this still looks nice to me. Maybe it's because the color, the bright silver with blue and yellow accents peppered throughout the robot mode. Regardless of the reason that I can't tell you, I like the look of the robot mode. The kibble is definitely egregious and it can hinder the posability and transformation. We'll talk about each of them in detail in just a second. Thankfully, the door can be removed with a screw to allow for a much better knee bend, and I don't know if the original figure is screwed in or pinned on. To me, the doors look almost like a skirt. While that doesn't suit Mirage's character, I still think it looks cool. The headlights and the spoiler part is easily loose. The waist likes to untap, but these QG issues aren't that annoying compared to other KOs because while they can be easily untapped, they're not gonna fall off by one swift human breath. The blaster is okay at best. It is unpainted, but I don't mind it. I love the fact that it looks flush and it appears as if it's transformed out of his arm like in the movie, and you can't see the hand unless you look hard enough, unlike Bumblebee. Despite the egregious kibble and some QC issues and the missing paint apps, I still like how the look of the robot mode is, and after this review I'll probably just take off the doors to allow more range on the articulation. I might buy another one for the cannon and have that as the car mode.
So along with the articulation itself, let's start with that. I gotta say, the articulation is actually pretty interesting on this guy. So the head's on a ball joint. It is, I think on mine it's a bit tight out of the box, but it's now a bit looser. You can look up that far, not that far, but you can look down really far. Also can tilt side to side. And I do really like the face of it. If you guys can see it, I don't know if you can see the camera. The face paint, the silver part is not the greatest. It's very messy. There's missing some areas that need to be painted silver, but it's okay since it's a knockoff. I don't know if the original figure has the same problem, but the knockoff certainly does. Shoulders on a ball joint, which allows it to rotate 360 degrees, but it can be hindered by the wheels a little bit. But you can just like move it out a bit. Yes, you can move out about that far, which is nice. And it is on a hinge joint, so it allows you to also hinge downwards, also as well due to transformation. But I just keep it like this way because it looks nicer. He has a bicep swivel, though it is tight out of the box, but it has loosened a bit ever since I played around with it. Single jointed bend at the elbow, and we have a wrist swivel, which is tight out of the box, but it has loosened up quite a bit after some play tasting. It does have a waist swivel, but it is very it is a little bit tight. It is a bit stiff because of the material that they use for the chest. It's quite flimsy. And it does have an app crunch for transformation, so it is a bit loose. The app crunch is a bit loose, and I don't want to bother fixing it because I don't really use the app crunch because this possibility is very limited because of the kibble and everything like that. Yeah, but the chest part is very fragile. I highly recommend that you guys take cautious of it, not just like rotate it around. Rotate it slowly when you're transforming this thing. The legs can kick forwards about that far, and it can go kick back about that far before being hindered by the doors, which you can unplug, by the way, using a screw. You also have a thigh swivel, but it is very tight. I haven't actually had time kind of like to loosen up a bit playing around because you get hindered by the doors. We have a bend at the knee, but of course gets hindered once again by the doors, and it is very annoying. So it does bend around that far, but it is being hindered. I really don't like. I really wanna. I mean, after this review, I'm gonna just take off the doors. And the feet itself is on a ball joint, so it has a nice range which allows the feet to move up and then downwards and everything like that. The toe can move up about that far, which for transformation, and it is made out of die cast and also has a decent ankle pivot. So yeah, in terms of posability, it's great, but it is being hindered by the hinge joints and everything like that. Oh, and also the right shoulder was actually loose out of the box. I just had to super glue it, a little bit of super glue to it, and just work the joints and everything like that. So yeah, that is the articulation itself. If only the kibble is not that messy. I would have posted a lot, and it's really nice that it has a deluxe cost scale and everything like that, but just the kibble is just egregiously annoying. Okay.
For size comparison, here is Mirage alongside my SS-105 Marvel Spider-Man, my previous review, the MX6601 Dauntless Fighter, Byway Style Leader, BMB OP01, and my Transformers Studio Series 100 Bumblebee. So the robot mode is okay at best. It is still a good robot mode, but I think it could have been done better. The alt mode, however, well, let's just say the road to get there is tedious. Transformation, like I said, is very tedious. They engineered a lot of parts to move, and as a result the clearance is butchered. The door is the worst offender because you need to rotate it around and over the front wheel well, and you don't want to scratch the sensible paint. Not to mention the top half of the car mode is made out of thin clear plastic, so you have to be extra cautious. I absolutely did not enjoy the transformation at all, but as a result you get an awesome looking car mode. I love the look of this. Was the trouble worth it? Yeah, I think it's worth it. The panel lines just flow well and it doesn't look messy, and the underside kibble is pretty much clean, although there is a huge gap on the back, but that is where the blaster is stored. Very clean, and it hides away the hollowness. No autobot insignia on the front, of course, for obvious legal reasons, but somehow the Porsche logo is still there. I don't know how they get away with that, but I'm glad they did because it just completes the car mode. Can't imagine the alt mode without those Porsche logos. Again, like the head, the paint app is a bit messy. The left turn signal, the left headlights, and the right wheel well aren't painted very well. It stands out a bit, but not enough for it to grab my attention and annoy me. So, should you get this figure? It depends actually. If you don't have the original figure, either by you missed out on it, or it's expensive, or super hard to find, or maybe you don't want to spend that much money on a messy robot mode, then this figure is a pretty good pickup, and I do recommend it. I got this for around 209,000 rupees, or around $13. It's not Byway, but Byway tends to oversize their deluxe class figures, and I don't like how it ruins the scale. I really hope more KO companies make proper deluxe class scale figures, because there are many Studio Series figures like Jazz and Ratchet that are very expensive or rare to find. So I hope the guys behind this KO Mirage or GYH Toys can make a proper deluxe class scale Jazz and Ratchet in the future. That'd be great. That's gonna be my review of the CY-01 Afterimage, not Studio Series 105 Mirage. I hope you guys enjoyed it and find this review useful, and I'll see you guys next time.